Hello, everybody. I'm Tom Vassell. Today is January 29th, 2020, and it's time for live Q&A. Just got back from the Dice Tower cruise, which was amazing, but we have other things to jump into. I'm catching up on a lot of stuff here at the studio. I'm by myself, so there's no intro or anything else going on. And we'll get going. Let me see here. As always, if you have questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments, and I'll try to get to them as quickly as I can. Let's see, what else do I have? Kickstarter, Dice Tower Kickstarter is ending, and we're going to do like a little bit of a marathon type thing tomorrow, Friday night, to end it off, just going all the way up to midnight to see what happens, where it will end, and that'll be exciting, hopefully, or at least fun. Anyway, test. I can hear myself coming through my own ears, which makes sense. All right, let's see what kind of questions we got. Oh, no questions. Well, there's that. I didn't play any new games on the cruise, just played ones I already knew how to play. I won a game of Cosmic Encounter, so that's always fun. I also play a lot of other games. I think that was the only game I won Le Havre too. Played a game of Le Havre and Cosmic and several other games, and taught even more than that. When will I be a guest on Mike's podcast? Sporadically bored? I don't know. I'm not often asked to be guest on podcasts. I am sometimes, and often then to work out the schedule of me getting on them is kind of tricky. So I'm not on them very often. Have I played all the games you plan to play during your top 100? I don't know what that means. Oh, no. Why am I so committed to the Independent specifically rather than being open to another RC ship? I always like when questions are worded, like, why are you so committed to it? Instead of saying, why do you like the ship so much? That would be probably a simpler way to put it. It's fun. I like the Independence a lot. Being on the same cruise ship multiple years in a row allows us to work with the same crew. We consistently work with the same crew. The crew changes, but not all of them change, and so they know what we're doing. So we know the ship knows us. It's easy to work with them, and it just makes sense for us to keep using the same ship. If we switch ships all the time, it's like a convention that switches cities. Gen Con, was it Gen Con? One of the cons was switching cities for a while. That's really problematic. Staying in the same city allows you to do and make the things better because you can kind of finesse things as each year goes by. Let's see. Any ideas on how you're going to change the website once you hit the goal on Kickstarter? Yeah, it looks like we are going to hit that goal very possibly. Well, it's going to be a process to fix the website for sure. So first we got to feel people out. I want to make it mobile friendly, and I want to make it just look a little bit nicer, I suppose, and make it easy and more functional to jump around. What straps do you use in the games in the Dice Tower Library? I don't remember. Kenny bought those straps. I forget what they. Well, I got them, but I don't remember what kind they were. Are you excited for Cosmic Duel? Kind of. I'm not as pumped as everybody else because the whole point of Cosmic is the negotiation. If they take that out, it could still be a fantastic game, but I don't know that, right? So I'm interested, not excited, I think is probably the best way. Is it okay to bring you a gift at conventions? I suppose. I'm not going to say no usually. Favorite opponent person in board games? Like, who do I enjoy playing against the most? That's a good question. There's a lot of people I really enjoy playing games against. I'll have to think about that one. Any new movies you've watched? No, not particularly. Oh, we watched Dr. Dolittle. That was fine. I liked the new Dr. Dolittle. I took my kids to see it. I enjoyed it fine. I know it got really critically panned, but it was interesting to me. Did the game library run smooth on the cruise? Well, about as smooth as I would hope it to be. There was certainly some hang-ups, and we'll talk about that when I can get to that. Getting the library on and off the ship was extremely difficult and a lot more work than we had anticipated. And we had anticipated that it would be a lot. Once we were on the ship, though, once the library was set up, it seemed to work well. Let's see. Is that a hat from the cruise? No. This is from last year's cruise or 2 cruises ago. That's when I got this hat. Did you ever have to send a letter to anyone for allowing someone to get all the paintings and cash and guns? I'm not sure, it's probably referencing me saying that no one should ever allow that to happen. I still don't think it's... The only way it's possible is if everyone else at the table is just not trying. I had to get all of them. Any top 10s that are not gaming related coming anytime soon? Probably not. Will we be bringing some Dice Tower stuff? Promos, Animal Meeples, Stuffed Pandas to Dice Tower West? Yes, we will be. How did you get the idea of having these cruises? Well, after a while ago, I decided to take my family on a vacation, and we were looking into one, and finally I settled on a cruise. It sounded interesting. People have been bugging me for years to do one, but I was like, we'll see. And I took almost no games with me because I said, I'm just going to unhook from the world in general. And it was so great and so fantastic, and I had so much free time, and I said, I could have brought games and played them. I just didn't have any. I thought, well, Jason had mentioned the idea of doing a board game cruise, and I'd been like, nah. After I came back from the cruise, I said, let's do it, and it really kind of went full throttle from there. Where am I? Why wasn't the Crew Quest for Planet 9 in your top 100? Because I'd made it before I had solidified that game in particular. Will it be on next year's top 100? Quite probably. Certainly one of the hottest games on the ship for sure. Can we sign up to become guests? Are you talking about the cruise? You have to clarify what you mean by that. I didn't play any new games on the ship, actually. Yeah. Staying in one city venue also allows you to build a relationship with the venue and people there. Yeah, you're right. When I go on the Independence, I meet the different people who are in charge of the food and stuff, and I'm able to talk to them, and they remember me from previous years, so I like that. My top 10 Dominion cards. I did a video on that one. If you search for it, you should be able to find it. Do you think game releases will slow down anytime soon? I don't think so. Or do you think the business is not saturated enough? Well, no, those aren't an either or. I think the business is saturated enough, but there's still going to be a lot more games coming. I'm going to bring Tom a kitten as a gift. Well, that would be a weird thing to bring to a convention, a live animal. What games are you eyeing upgrading components for right now? Nothing in particular. I have a bunch of upgrades that I've been looking at just across the board, but not for any particular game. I'm just looking for upgrades in general. Nowadays, a lot of the new games I get that I think are fantastic already are upgraded, or at least from the Kickstarter end. Is the volume of reviews going to pick up again soon? It feels like lately there's been a lot less. It's been giving me less things to watch at work. When the top 100 goes off, there's usually less reviews, but one of the reasons I'm here today is we need to start working on reviews that will be coming out shortly. So yes, the volume of reviews is most definitely going to pick up. Any thoughts on the IDW adventure system and that idea of dropping a lot of IPs into a single style? The new TMT is out, Batman animated series coming up. Have you played the newest Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles edition? I have not. I would look forward to seeing that one a lot. And the Batman animated series sounds great. Good thing about the Batman one is I'm pretty sure, I have to look at my schedule, but I'm pretty sure we're playing that one live here on the channel. Any issue with the humidity on the cruise with all that cardboard? No. I mean, the cruise itself is air conditioned inside, so yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Is the cruise exclusively booked for Dice Tower? No, we're just part of the cruise. There's about 3,600 people can be on the ship, and we were 809 of them. I'm excited to go to Gen Con, says Casey. Is it super annoying if I run up and introduce myself? No, it's not super annoying at all. Is your second daughter planning to leave the college? Yes, I think she's heading off in August, or actually it's August or September. I have it marked on the calendar, and we'll be heading there. Favorite stop during the cruise? Well, we only stopped at 2 ports. So the Cayman Islands and Cozumel. So I guess Cayman Islands, I guess. Did you see any sharks while on the cruise? I did not. Should board game newbies focus on classics like Catan or Kickstarter games? I don't think anyone should necessarily focus on anything. Just pick games that you enjoy or that you think you will enjoy. Do research, look into it, and look for games that you'll have a great time playing. There's nothing, you don't have to play the classics. You don't have to play new hot stuff. Just find games that you like. Where's your tan? I don't know. But this lets me bring out a thing. I've always wondered about tanning. Like, why are people so intent on the darkening of their skin? And I guess this is specifically for very white people, probably. I just don't get it. And people are like, oh, you don't have a tan. Sure. But how does having a tan make you better than someone who doesn't? People say you look better, but that seems like just a learned process that we're taught that people with tans look better. It's not like tanning is good for you. And so I've always found it odd that people are like, I'm going to get a tan. And then people are going, oh, that person, look at them, chiseled tan-like features. It just seems like a weird thing to me that people always, you like get judged on whether you have a tan or not. And it just seemed odd to me. You know, when I was a kid, sometimes I would, do something and people are like, oh, look at that farmer's head. Look how white his arms are. Okay, cool. I just never understood why it was like a big deal, and I'll probably die not understanding it. Getting a tan doesn't seem like something I'd want to do. If you're buying, selling a resource in a game, do you prefer fixed pricing or supply and demand pricing? I like supply and demand pricing a lot. Will the Pledge Manager extras count towards stretch goals? Yeah, probably not, because usually the Kickstarter itself doesn't count towards the stretch goals themselves. What I mean by that is when you raise, let's say you raise $250,000, you're probably not going to get $250,000 because a lot of credit cards don't go through and stuff, and yet you still count as if you got to the stretch goal. And then the Pledge Manager kind of makes up for that. Will I be going to Gamma? No, but I have some of the Dice Tower people will be going. Lindsay, Mark, and Corey will be there. When do tickets for next year's cruise go on sale? I want to say March, probably. Me and Jason are still working that out. They actually went on sale on the cruise ship to people who came, and I think 120 rooms are already sold for next year, which is exciting to see that people want to come back. And don't worry, you'll be able to get one for sure. But right now, we have Dice Tower West coming up in a month, and Dice Tower East still want to sell some tickets for that one, and we want people to come to that one. The other cruise is still a year away at this point, so there's no rush, really. I don't know about the earthquake that happened in the Caribbean. I mean, I don't know what happened here in Miami. I haven't talked to anyone here. I didn't feel it on the ship. Some people said they thought they did. But I haven't yet run into people here in Miami to know if they felt it or not. Why don't you sell apparel in your Kickstarter? I would buy a shirt or a sweater. Oh, we might sell apparel at some point, but the point of the Kickstarter is to raise funds. And apparel is just, the markup on apparel is just awful. So if I bought a t-shirt for 10 and you bought it for 15, and then Kickstarter takes their cut of $1.50, and then there's other things involved, I might end up making $2 on that. And then you'll say, ooh, the Dice Tower made $15. No, we did not. We made $2. And that's not very helpful to us. What would be your dream vacation? I don't know, probably some sort of world trip, jumping around and going to different countries. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Have you played Azul Summer Pavilion since your review? You weren't settled on whether you liked it more than the Sintra. Yeah, I still don't know which one of those two I like better. I like both of them better than the first one for sure, but I'm not sure which of the two new ones. Can you recommend Aliens from Cosmic Encounter that are good starters for people who have never played? It's easy. Just open up the base set, play with them, and use the green ones. They're marked green, yellow, and red. Is there any particular order to the games you listed in the recent first impressions videos? Will they be reviewed in that order? They will not be reviewed in that order. I just had a pile of games I wanted to talk about, and I split them between 3 videos. No particular reasoning, other than I did put some big names in each of the videos, but that's about it. How many Generation 1 Transformers are there in your studio? Just a few, I think. Derek gave them to us when he left. So we have a few of them laying around, but not too terribly many of them. Tom, have you gotten some flack for having Le Havre as your #1 game? Not particularly. I guess a few people are like, what? But I mean, I don't know. It's a choice. Where did that giant wooden ice cube in the library come from? That came from Brain Games themselves. They gave that to us to use for conventions like that. It's pretty cool. Is formal attire required on the cruise? It is not. You can wear what you want for the most part. Like the nice dining room, they probably won't let you in flip-flops, a t-shirt, and shorts, but like then you don't have to go eat there if you don't want to either. You can just go to the buffet or whatever. So no. Some people dress up and some people don't. When scheduling videos to show up, how far ahead do you typically schedule? It all depends. It could be anywhere from 2 weeks to today, when we schedule a review. But they're usually scheduled farther ahead than that. Hello, Tom. This year, Catan celebrates its 25th anniversary. Will the Dice Tower prepare a video about the game, its expansions, its spin-offs, and the like? I think we did that last year. Check out Dice Tower Dive Catan. Thank you guys for the nice words in the top 100. You talked about having played older Uwe games this past year. I have also been playing more older games than usual. Any older games in your radar that you look forward to getting back to the table? Yeah, whatever. If I just want to play a game, I play it. Doesn't matter if it's old or new. I know this always drives people nuts when I'm kind of flippant about these things, and I don't mean to, but I guess I just don't sit around kind of vacillating on whether I like games or not, or what I can play or not play. I'm just like, oh, that sounds fun. I'll play it. Oh, I'll play that game. I haven't played that one for a while. Let's play it. I just don't sit around making plans to play games. I just play them when I feel like it. I see you have an upcoming live playthrough. Will this be more common? Well, I mean, we try to do that about as much as we did last year. We actually do need to do other things on the channel, but I'm going to be playing some games live, and we figured it'd be something fun to do when we got back from the cruise. So me and Roy will be playing tomorrow, then we'll be doing a live playthrough on Friday also. I'm really tired. You know, the designers are planning on an expansion for Detective and Modern Crime board game. Yeah, they've already done one in LA, and there's another one that's scheduled after that. How many hours do you put into Dice Tower each week? Everything? I don't know, 60, 70. That's a lot. But I like the Dice Tower, so it's fun. What should my wife and I name our son, Ethan or Joshua? Well, do you want the name to be shortened, like Josh? Because there's no way to shorten Ethan. I don't think there is. Eth. So that's how I would go with it, because their friends are going to probably likely call him Josh, or they might decide to call themselves Josh. So if you like that, then you're good. I think you've done a studio tour before, but could you do one again if anything has significantly changed? I'm going to let Mike and Roy put something like that together as time goes by. I believe that's one of our stretch goals on the Dice Tower Kickstarter. Would you ever open a board game store? I wouldn't. But maybe someone else would. I wouldn't open a board game store, because if you open up a board game store, it's not because you love board games, it's because you like stores. Then you happen to sell board games. No, you can like board games, I guess, but you're going to be doing the work of a store, and you have to be there all the time. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be at the store all the time. I want to spend time with my family, and that'd be very difficult to do when you first open the store. That's why I, Tom Vassell, wouldn't open a store. Who are you rooting to win the Super Bowl? Do not care. It is way too close for my comfort. I'm not going into Miami over this next few weeks, because I'm sure the traffic will be crazy. So I'm rooting for the refs. What's my favorite thing I ate on a cruise? There was a lot of delicious things. I don't know. I don't have a single favorite, which is weird because I like to rate things. There was a cherry crepe. I enjoyed that a lot. When a friendly local gaming store sells me a game at MSRP, how much do they usually make? Well, they usually buy the game for 50% off. So let's say you buy the game for $50, that means the store probably bought it for $25. That does not mean they made $25 though, because they have to pay rent, they have to pay utilities, they have to pay their employees, they have to pay themselves, and by the time they're done, there's not a whole lot of money left. So yeah, and that's why online stores have cheaper prices, because they don't have to pay for as many of these things. But they also don't have areas to game in and things like that. Did you get a lot of people not part of the convention asking you all what is going on when they see a bunch of gamers? Yeah, that happened actually quite a bit. People are just curious what's going on, come by, the cruise director, the captain, not the captain, the first officer, the other guests in the boat come and ask us because it's an interesting thing. I would ask someone what they were doing if I wasn't involved. I find that stuff fascinating. Mystic Vale was among your favorites. Why do you dismiss it so fast now every time you talk about it? Okay, anyway, next. I don't know why I dismiss it so fast. Maybe you're reading into that. I think Mystic Vale's fine. It's not my top 100. But I'm not going to say that it is a bad game by any means. I enjoy it. How many people came up to you on a cruise wanting to talk about Le Havre, wondering how it got to be number 1 on your list? Actually, several. Any language you wish you spoke? Oh, all languages. It'd be great to be multilingual. I know you could be if you want to be. Whatever happened to selling the extra promos online after the Kickstarter people get theirs? I'm guessing that it was abandoned this past year and the promos are only for cons. It's very difficult to do from a logistical standpoint. So we're still trying to figure out how we might be able to do that in 2020. Doobie-doobie-doo. Tanning is a status thing. Sure. Yeah, but what about someone who is for tanning? Like, what's your legitimate reasoning for thinking it's a good thing? That's what I'm curious about, because enough people must think it's a good thing, because enough people talk to me about it. What lighting am I using right now? Studio lighting. I'm in the studio. Would you consider a top 10 of Spiel des Jahres winners / nominees? I've done one on our channel. Spoiler about number 1, I'm still in the 30s video. Well, what can I do? You're watching something live, and that came out a while ago. So that's like a week or so ago. So you don't have to watch them super fast, but then you're watching a live thing. I'm not gonna whisper about my number 1 for the next few years. Do you have any thoughts on the new Blood Rage Kickstarter that was just fulfilled to backers? Well, that would be cool. I don't know if it's at my house or not. What's the best thing about being home after a trip? Good old sleep. Good old sleep. What is the best game mat for a table? Game Toppers. Berkey makes some really good mats, so maybe those. Do you think Kickstarter should let reviewers make reviews of their upcoming games rather than previews? I'm interested in an upcoming game, but no reviewer has made an actual review. Sure, but that will never happen, unfortunately. We've talked about this. Unless someone is paying a reviewer to do it, the companies are going to send their prototype out to somebody and they want that person to do a positive review. They do. Even if they say, we want the truth, they really want a positive review. And don't get me wrong, I don't think they're being dishonest. I mean, I have publishers all the time. They give it to me and say, listen, say whatever you want. We just want you to tell the truth. They mean that, but they still would like positive truth over negative truth. So for someone to do negative truth, it's going to be first hard to get people to give them to you. You'd have to do a lot of positives and negatives so that there's a chance for you to get a positive review. Secondly, what's in it for that person? That you can't be paid for doing this, right? So you're just going to be doing it out of goodness of your heart, playing these games, and it's going to be hard on that person because they're going to be trashing on someone's dreams. Going to somebody's Kickstarter as it's being launched and say, yeah, folks, you shouldn't back this one. And so I find that would be pretty difficult, I think, to get someone to do that. They're also not cool components, everything. Yeah, I don't see it possible unless someone is paid to do it. Well, folks, I apologize, but I have a pretty strong headache right now, and so I'm going to just cut it off after only a half hour rather than an hour. And I'm very apologetic to end this so quickly. Maybe we'll come back and do it in a time. I think I'm running on a little less sleep than I would prefer. But we'll be back tomorrow. Me and Roy will play a game tomorrow morning for you all. And like I said, we'll have a live thing on Friday. Next week, we got Rodney Smith scheduled to come in and do a top 10 with us. We think you guys will enjoy that one. And February is almost upon us. My son's birthday is next week. He's turning 6, so that will be exciting. Those of you who are watching from the airport and such, as you head home, keep safe. For the rest of you, I appreciate it. I'm sorry I didn't get to all the questions, but either way, thanks so much for hanging around. Until next time, I'm Tom Bassel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. See you all later.